Welcome to the Towers Underground podcast, starring Brandon White,
Brian Ferguson,
Rob Thackeray.
We are here once again. We are excited. Our audio seems to be good today, so let's hope that we don't fuck this up like we tend to.
Welcome to episode 1 of the unofficial Overwatch podcast. My wife has been playing so much Overwatch. I haven't seen her in like 2 weeks.
God, that makes me sad, and also makes me happy. I don't know. I'm conflicted.
So are we doing this thing where you don't like his relationship and I don't like yours, or is that a real thing?
No. Brandon has never said that he doesn't like my relationship.
No?
He just doesn't like that I'm married.
That's basically true.
Oh, so I have to wait until you're married to dislike your relationship.
No. You can do whatever you like.
Oh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
You still got 9 days of freedom in this country.
We've mentioned this before. Brandon just misses the days when I was single, despite having never seen them.
Yeah, no. It's kind of like when you hear about like these golden eras of the past, like Victorian England, and you know people romanticize about that, even though they weren't there. And let's be honest, it was probably fucking terrible.
Or
Yeah.
the 80s.
Yeah,
And the 80s were pretty dope. That's when the NES came out.
that's true.
And I mean, it obviously had to be amazing because people were wanting to fight over NES classics, as though it was like a fucking Furby or something.
So apparently somebody hacked the NES Classic
and
for
added,
30 more
yeah,
30 more games, so a total of 60.
yeah.
That's awesome.
It was something I was expecting to happen.
And it was just software related. They didn't tweak the hardware, they didn't open the case, nothing along those lines, just as it was.
Yeah, because you could always assume almost automatically looking at it, the thing's probably Linux based.
Yeah.
So once you know that, you've got a pretty good road to attack it.
Yeah.
So
So I'm wondering if they just aren't putting more for the sake of they just wanted to test the limitations, or if it's a storage base. But I wouldn't imagine that it's a storage base, because you can fit all of like the entire NES library on like a gigabyte.
no, I don't know if they had necessarily that. I don't think they actually had any plans to expand it. It's more of a reason to get people excited to look for the other games on Virtual Console.
Okay.
People play it and say, "Oh, these games were fun and challenging. Maybe we'll go try to buy one for $5."
Are you talking about for Nintendo's standpoint?
From a Nintendo standpoint.
Okay, not from a hacker standpoint.
Now, from a hacker standpoint, I mean, you could put because they found out that the NES Classic, when hacked, can it can play NES, SNES, Genesis. It can play a wide range of games. The hardware will support a lot of stuff because it's just software emulation.
Right.
As long as the processor and the operating system that it's built upon can support the emulators, then you can play anything basically.
Right. I mean, if you're looking at something or a computer with the power of something like a Raspberry Pi, which is a $20, $30 computer,
Exactly.
it's able to run up to 64 or up to 32-bit very comfortably.
Yeah.
64 might be pushing it a little bit,
It can be done though.
but it would probably be a little bit laggy. But
Yeah, but the 64 emulators have always been laggy. They for some reason
Yeah.
had poor performance forever. I've used emulators for a very long time because fuck you, Nintendo. I own all your consoles and a vast majority of the games that you've put out.
it's not his fault that you're not re-releasing content fast enough.
I own the shit, so I can do whatever the fuck I want with it. But for some reason, out of all the consoles ever emulated, and this is including PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, the N64 notoriously just emulates poorly.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know if it has to do with just ridiculous polygon counts or something that don't render properly with, graphics driver software that's made to emulate what was in the console. I don't know the technical aspects of it. I just know that it definitely hasn't been high performing anytime I've ever used it.
Well, I mean, to this day, the closest thing that was ever able to emulate N64 games has been the DS, and really they just rebuilt the games as far as we can tell.
It's only been very recently that Nintendo's even added Nintendo 64 games to their eShop
Right.
for Virtual Console. So I mean, there's definitely some fuckery going on there.
Apparently, they are announcing the Switch officially
Friday.
Friday.
13th.
Is it the 13th?
It'll be the Friday the 13th in Spain where they're having the event. It'll be the 12th here when it's announced.
Yeah, which the internet was kind of like, why are you announcing it now? It's already been announced for a while, but I think now, I'm imagining that this is going to be the official release.
This is the official release where they're going to give more technical information about it with more vendor support and stuff.
Probably price points, things like that.
Yeah.
Really excited for the Nintendo Vita.
I mean, they could tell me that the moment I open that thing, it's going to jump out of its box and fuck my face, and I'd be like, all right, whatever, I'm still getting one.
You are pretty loyal.
I'm a very loyal Nintendo fan.
I would definitely put that in the pro category, regardless of...
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
It jumps out of the box and face fucks you with a smegma covered dick.
Yeah.
Still a pro.
All right, well, Thackeray at towersunderground.com for those dick pics, by the way.
God, that's an old joke.
It's a goodie.
Yeah.
Oldie but goodie.
So, what's the computational power of a single raspberry? I was going to ask that. I don't know what.
It's not high. I want to say that it's something like a 1.3, upwards of a dual core processor. Last time I looked.
Really? So I can go and pick a raspberry off a bush and then put it on a motherboard.
Oh,
Well, it is a motherboard.
Bro, you mix the jokes, bro.
No.
So I checked, I want to say a month or two ago, looking at Amazon for them, and you can get them for like $70 with a case and like some other stuff included.
I keep seeing these people that post that make magic mirrors.
Yeah,
I want to make one of those so fucking bad. They look so cool.
yeah. So what they do is they basically take are they taking a mirror, or they're taking like an old display and
Yeah,
putting it?
you take an old LCD panel, you get one of those one-sided mirror window things. It's got like the silver lining on one side, so you can look through, but it's a mirror on the other. You make a frame, you put that over the display itself, you connect the Raspberry Pi to the display. It takes a little bit of soldering, but you can get it to display things on the mirror. So when you look at it, it'll be a mirror, but it'll put information. You can put like a news ticker on the bottom. You can put like the weather and temperature on it. So like if you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, you'll see like all of your information for the day. Like
It's like turning your morning mirror into a HUD or into a HUD.
yeah, and it's something that for some reason is still
I
only a
almost said HUD
hobbyist.
display.
Yeah. Oh man.
ATM machine?
Yeah, ATM machine.
Damn it. But yeah, so that's something that hasn't really been made commercially, and I'm actually surprised because it's a cool concept that just to save me the work, I would probably just buy one if it was an option.
If anybody's actually looking to like get into amateur programming, then it's a fantastic little thing to do.
Yeah.
Because you can really make whatever you want out of it. The house is coming down around us, possibly. If
Oh,
you,
man.
Roof.
That's a metaphor for America, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's all the politics for this week, folks.
I had to get it in.
It's assuredly not.
If I have my way, that's all that we get.
I like how you make that comment. Me and him both drink water, so neither of us can retort because we're professionals.
I'm going to get a spit take in one day.
Oh man, we're gonna have to do that whenever we're not using my MacBook.
I guess. I mean, it's just the back of it. I don't think it'll affect anything.
Shop talk.
It'll get my spit on the back of your MacBook.
You say that, and then whenever you like just blast on a
I'm
chick's
not
hair.
jerking off on your MacBook.
Oh,
You're not.
I thought when you meant spit take, you were gonna suck Thackeray's dick, and then when he ejaculates into your mouth, you were gonna spit it everywhere.
Calm down, Reddit.
I'm sure there's got to be like a novelty account for this.
I'm
is.
so turned on right now.
That's like 3 to 1:30.
Approximately.
Everybody will find out about what that joke means in, I don't know, the end of the year or something.
I'll
Maybe.
maybe save that one.
You're an idiot.
Who's to say?
So I started playing Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon today.
Oh, it's fun.
It is. It's super fun. It's bigger than I thought it was. If you don't know what it is, it's a standalone expansion for the game Far Cry, where they basically just like clip out that story and make a story that's essentially like an 80s action movie.
Yeah, there's like mecha dragons and stuff.
That's
It's
pretty
fucking
exciting.
awesome.
Yeah.
Did the Mecha Dragons fuck the cars?
I think that some of them might have fucked cars.
They should.
You can probably get a dragon to fuck a car if you try real hard.
I don't
really-
think it should
or
take
not
that much
that hard.
enticing to do. I think you should be like, look at that car with its mighty exhaust, and then.
I'm trying to think, if you were to throw a lure at a car, I would imagine that you could probably get the dragon to attack the car.
Maybe. Never tried.
I'm gonna have to try this.
I think Robert Patrick is in it. I think he does the voice for the main guy.
You might,
Just because they wanted to get that like 80s thing going on.
yeah.
So don't quote me on that, but I know he's in it for sure. He lends his voice talents to something in that game, and I was
Yeah.
really excited about it. So that's really cool.
It is super fun. I finally beat Broforce after on and off play of like, I'd say total like a week, but spread out over 4 or 5 months.
I've heard a lot of good things about Broforce, actually.
It's fun. It's
I have it, but I haven't played it.
It's a great local co-op game, or it's a great game for local co-op. where you can basically just it's a Contra style side scroller.
Yeah.
Just shoot 'em up game where you start off it's almost like the plot of, well, it starts out as the plot of Commando, and then it goes into Aliens, and then Doom, maybe? I don't know. You have to face the devil.
Oh, man. I thought you said we weren't going to talk about politics, and you're just over here dangling the fucking carrot in front of both of us.
I'm trying real hard.
Just him. I don't care.
Yeah,
I love carrots, so...
he does.
I'm nihilistic.
I finally...
Everything's fine, probably.
No, it's not, but I'm not going to talk about
I
it.
finally went back and started playing more Final Fantasy 15, which I'm like 40 hours in, and I'm in Chapter 5.
Brandon's now put the exact amount of hours into the game. He's my level and far away from where I am in the story, which means that Brandon likes the grind.
Now, I've seen the way that Brandon plays video games, and it's very dissociated, where he just, like, as soon as he finds any side quest, he'll go off and do that, and then never get back to the main quest again.
Yeah, I'm off doing shit, and it sucks because everybody was like...
How far through the story of Fallout 4 are you?
I beat the main campaign of Fallout 4,
Did
but
you?
I've also got 500 hours into Fallout 4, so...
Okay.
He had nothing else to do.
I was building
Essentially.
cities, and then I was having, like, graphical limitations on my PS4 with the size of my cities I was building, so I decided to just set it aside.
Midgar.
PC Master Race.
But no, people had commented in Final Fantasy 15 like, "Oh man, the fight with Titan," and I did the fight with Titan, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." And then I saw the shit that happened when Rama appeared, and I was like, "No, that shit was cool."
Yeah, it really is kind of awesome.
And anybody who is playing or plans on playing that, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but
You
if
just
you hear
get
anybody,
spoiled Titan and Rama.
well, no, not really.
Yeah, kind of.
No, not at all.
No, yep.
If you hear people hype the Titan fight, yeah, it was cool, but the shit that happens, like 30,
directly after that.
yeah, like 20, 30 minutes after that, I was just like, that was fucking awesome. Reload the save state. I want to see that again.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's a really
fucking
fun
bad.
game. I have yet to play more of it. I'm about where I was at before.
Yeah, I feel like that in the next few nights I'll probably be caught up to you on the story just because I've done so many hunts and side quests and shit that I kind of have to advance the story now.
Yeah, if you've seen me play games, it's that I don't do the main story because I can't find it.
Oh, okay.
We're eventually going to upload me playing Earthbound, and all these jokes we've been making about me being a horrible gamer are gonna come
See,
true.
that's why I gave up on Fallout 4, because, like, as soon as I got, or almost right from the beginning, I was like, I don't know where the fuck I'm supposed to go from here.
It's okay, Bethesda didn't either. If you've played that game, the story is not its strong suit.
Like, I get...
It's not.
I get having big open world games, and I definitely appreciate them from a technical standpoint and from a storytelling standpoint. But as a gamer myself, I really kind of have to have structure, otherwise I lose focus almost immediately.
The more open, I don't like how everything's going to a more open world type thing because that makes me feel like I have to allot more hours into this, and I feel like telling your story, even if it may be more linear.
Right.
If you the same like Breaking Bad, just they told their story, they ended it, it's fine. If you tell your story,
Tell Better Call Saul that,
Well,
which I hear is fantastic.
That's why I'm excited about Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, because they've hyped it as a big open world that's probably set around the timeline of the first two games in the series.
Right.
And I think that's really fitting because the first game in the series was an open world, like
Yeah, you
8
just
by
go
16 tile maps, and there was no story unless you read the booklet that came with the game. Like otherwise, it's like here you go figure it out.
Right.
And it's just all about exploring and fighting. So I think it's cool that with their newest console with their best graphics to date, all of the power in the world, computationally, that they're making a game that's a real throwback to like what the first game would be if it were in modern HD graphics, which I think is going to be really awesome.
Yeah. What else did I start playing yesterday? I started playing like 3 games yesterday. I touched on Gauntlet briefly just to see if it holds up compared to
the older ones,
like the classic
ones.
Gauntlet games, and it totally does.
I totally played the one that was on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
I actually had a bit of fun with that one. That
we
was
need
good.
to get, or we need to get on that.
We need to co-op on that. That would be really good.
And I played
Towers of like
Tower Monsters or
Yeah.
Giant Tower Monsters or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was expecting kind of like a casual game, but it turns out that it's a spoof on 50s sci-fi movies.
Yeah, it's really it's like
really, or from what we saw of it, which wasn't a whole lot. Super funny.
It was like it's watching a horror, a really bad sci-fi movie, and then listening to the guy do commentary on it. But the guy who's narrating it is the one who's doing commentary. So as you're playing it, he's doing commentary on what you're doing.
Right.
So he's being like, Janice here is supposed to actually do the, like her red suit wasn't actually supposed to be red. It was supposed to be blue. But due to technical things, and it was...
Right,
it was
so like
pretty good.
there's a constant voiceover throughout everything that you do in the game. You play as the main character in the movie, but the commentary is the director commentary track. So
Very
it's
nice.
like you're playing a game that is a director commentary track on a movie.
And the visuals are like supposed to be not time sensitive.
Of the time.
Historically relevant as well, because like the
So, like-
dinosaurs are stop
So
motion.
period appropriate.
Yeah,
Right,
the-
so like the creatures that, or like the monsters that you face either look like men in bad costumes or like stop animation dinosaurs.
That's really cool.
I was hoping you were saying men with hats. Or,
Some of the men's with hats.
nice. That's exciting.
There was a
In
moment where Thackeray was
space.
like, I really hope that we get to see that alien trope of like a head in a jar kind of thing, and then like no later than 3 minutes or past where we were, you get flying saucer aliens with head in a jar.
That's exciting.
I was very happy.
This guy over here is nodding in approval. Visual cue, ladies and gentlemen. You can't see it. That's just for us.
I have a weird set of stuff around the room that we record in.
Including 2 erect penises.
At least.
We're not going to say which 2.
Thackeray is now looking around to see if he can find anything more interesting to look at.
I've been rewatching Scrubs.
Scrubs is
Something new.
amazing. You talking about it the past few days is making me want to rewatch Scrubs because it was comedy gold.
It really is.
It's
But it also had some really poignant moments too that were just like we talked about last week. Brendan Fraser, his arc, that was
Yeah.
that was
With it,
great.
I noticed because where did I get to in Grey's Anatomy? About season 3.
Yeah, you're
That's
in
about
season
where I am in Scrubs, and I noticed that there are a lot of
parallels
between the stories, and I think like,
almost like the writers were on both shows, but we're like, how can we make this funny, or how can we make
yeah,
this
it was
more
like,
serious?
Scrubs is
Wait
like
till both
funny
shows have a
Grey's,
writer strike.
and then Grey's is like serious
It goes
Scrubs.
real downhill.
Yeah, so I really like it. Yeah, like the Brendan Fraser is basically Danny. Danny's his name. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's really good. I like it.
Fun fact: if you're going to be on a doctor show and your name's Denny, you're not going to have a good time.
No.
Or Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Career's not going to have a good time.
Poor
Man.
guy.
Have you watched any Pauly Shore movies since we talked? No. Man, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I did go home literally the night, maybe 2 hours after we recorded. I went on to Netflix and I started scrolling through, and a Pauly Shore movie did pop up, and I was like, "That's him."
It was Son-in-Law, I believe.
Was it
I
Son-in-Law?
believe it was Son-in-Law.
It was the one where he's a farmer.
Yep,
Son-in-Law.
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
I was gonna watch it, and then I decided I didn't hate myself that much.
It's actually one of the less Pauly Shore-ish movies.
Yeah.
His kind of like characterized version of himself that he plays in movies is a little more
Toned
toned
down.
down in that one. Not as much as in The Army Now, but it's definitely not like it is in a couple.
Well,
of
that was
movies.
like one of it. Or those two were like his first couple roles, as opposed to like
yeah, those were like him.
Biodome was like at his height.
Yeah,
Jury Duty was like right as he was fading away.
or as I like to call it, taking an extended break from being an awesome badass motherfucker.
Okay, you're the only one.
The Weasel. No, nobody.
No,
I'm
not
the only-
not a
Am
one
I
of them.
really the only person in the world that likes Pauly Shore? Like, I don't even think Pauly Shore likes Pauly Shore.
I've listened to him in podcasts, and you're right.
Man,
I know he says cheddar with a lot,
Yeah,
or at least in the thing that I've seen him in.
he says a lot of great things,
apparently he's a real douchebag in real life.
and he owns it. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. When you're an icon of the late '80s, early '90s era, you can be a douchebag.
The Coreys.
Look at Alec Baldwin.
well,
Or
like
the
he grew
Coreys.
up around fame. Like that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know about him is that like his mother is the owner of the Comedy Store in L.A. So like all the biggest comedians went through his mother. Like would
Literally
not admit,
and figuratively both.
maybe I don't know.
Brian's not laying any sort of judgment.
He doesn't want to say that for certain until he's famous and can confirm it himself.
Yeah.
No, I think that she's dying soon.
Well, then you're gonna have to get on that shit before it's cold.
Inside.
Eat your dinner before it's cold, Brian.
Ugh.
That's gross.
Is it though?
Ugh.
I approve of it.
Yeah, it's super gross.
I don't approve of many things, and that's not one of them.
I finally watched Ghost in the Shell yesterday.
Yeah, I remember. I didn't say
You
anything
like
about
half
it.
watched
there.
it.
Yeah, I did half watch it.
Yeah,
Like
you
I was
did
trying to pay attention, but like
There's a lot of like
there's so
talking
much.
and like existential questioning, as well as like I watched the environment most of it, and that's what I was
paying a lot of attention to.
That's what I was pointing out to.
It's
Brian
interesting
today.
because you said you all were watching it, and I was on Reddit, and I saw a post on the front page saying that it was going to have a theatrical re-release.
I saw
and I
that
was like,
right
"That's
after.
awesome!" And then you linked that in the chat, and I was like, "Yeah, all right."
Yep.
So we were all on the Ghost in the Shell wagon last night for sure.
I'm gonna have to watch it again, probably on my next day off or something like that, to actually pay more attention to the story. Because the first time that I watched, or when I watched it yesterday, it was very much of like, what is this an homage of, and looking at the art direction and things like that. And it's a beautiful movie, and it's very, very much an homage to the sci-fi that came before it.
Yeah.
And I think that we've touched on this a little bit before in previous episodes, how like probably I would say 30% of sci-fi that exists is just a reflection on Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's like you can draw a
Like a direct line.
And then
to
70% of it is derivative of that 30%.
No, I would say that there's a lot of other things that they're touching on, things like Logan's Run or Clockwork Orange and so many other things that have been made. There's so much great sci-fi out there, but like so much of it is done by Philip K. Dick, so a lot of his themes cross over into what hasn't been made or what's being made now that isn't based off his work.
yeah.
Your wife works on your days off, doesn't she?
Most of them.
You should watch Cowboy Bebop when she's off. When she's working. In
I've watched I want to say like 2 or 3 episodes of it, and I really enjoyed it. It's just another one of those things I just don't have the attention span to hold on to any one thing in particular.
It's a shame because it's not very long. So you. Can
I would
actually
say
get
that
through it.
my favorite cowboys are Cowboys in Space.
They are the best.
In space.
Historically speaking, space cowboys are best cowboys.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I've never been in space, and I've never been a cowboy, so I can't really speak from like an experience level on that one.
Nathan Fillion has.
This is true. He's
Yeah.
been a space cowboy. That's yeah.
I heard that they're making a. I don't know if they already have or if they're doing it soon. I think they're making a comic that's going to continue on Firefly.
Really? I mean, they already did the comic book run from.
It might be
the
that.
filler between
That and Serenity.
Firefly and Serenity.
Yeah.
That might be what I was thinking of.
Yes.
What I am excited about is the CW has renewed Constantine, but in a cartoon form that they're going to put online. But
Okay, because I was going to say, I thought Constantine was canceled.
it did, and they just picked it up again for this season.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a cartoon version. It's going to have the original cast, and it's just going to be a continuation of that. It's just
They're doing it in animation.
right for the sake of it's probably cheaper, and you can get or there is a large enough fan base of people who enjoyed the show who will go through and watch it. So
That's crazy how animation now, because animation used to not be the cost-effective way to go, and now, because of digital, or digitization of everything, it is, which is crazy. It's crazy to think. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm just watching the audio here. Shop
Yeah,
talk.
You're being fucking weird.
No, I was just monitoring your audio levels because that's my fucking job.
Brandon's an asshole. Brian let me, because I've no internet until the 18th.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be rewatching a lot of stuff. He let me borrow his Futurama collection.
Yeah.
So I'm going through and I'm watching every season with commentary. It's actually been really cool. I'm only on episode 6 or 7 of the first season, but so far I'm really enjoying it.
let me know when you get up to the movies, because if you want to do that, we can come over and make a day of it or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That sounds fun.
What I really liked about it, well, not just because I know that Matt, I think it was the 4th episode, the one where they have to deliver the package to the robots.
Yeah.
And Bender's not allowed to be.
Yeah.
You've heard this, but Matt Groening has a crippling fear of robots,
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny because I also have a pretty big fear of robots.
Do you really?
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
So what did you think of the Kissinger when they announced it at CES?
The what?
The Kissinger.
What the hell?
I
is
did
that?
not hear about that.
It is a.
I didn't want to follow CES because technology scares me.
It's a robot that you can connect to like your computer or your phone, so that when you like remotely chat with like a significant other of what variety you choose, you can kiss this robot.
Oh, shit,
And they
they-
can put their mouth on it, and it'll kiss them in the exact way that you're kissing yours.
All right, they actually this is actually not super new.
No, this has been around for a few years, but it's going mainstream.
I feel like it was a side plot point in an episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, because this is something that's been floating around in Japan for
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
years, and suddenly people were like, you
How
know
does it-
what?
How does it work if you put your penis inside of the Kissinger?
The tongue turns into a dick. No, that's not how it works at all.
Be like, tell me more.
He's gonna buy two for himself. It's like, I've always wanted to suck my own dick, but I've never been flexible, so I'm gonna buy two of these things. It's like portals for your cock. Perfect.
Now I can suck my own dick while getting my dick sucked.
If anybody asks what I'm doing, I'll just say that I'm kissing while getting a blowjob, and no one will question it.
I think somebody will question it because why are they there? They're there. They're now looking at me. I could be like, yeah, this is what's happening. They're just going to turn around.
I don't know, if somebody's walked in and they're watching you do this, I feel like they've lost all right to judge you at that point.
No.
Like, they walk in, they see that shit happening, they're supposed to just right back out. It's like, didn't happen, fucking go, drink a lot so you don't remember it, just until they release that fucking Men in Black flashy thing at CES next year.
Man,
So that shit's coming probably, too.
I didn't look at anything about CES this year. Was there anything else interesting?
Was there a flashy thingy?
Not yet. Nothing really extraordinary outside of the new LG OLED TV that is it is a tenth of an inch thick, and literally you just slap the son of a bitch on your wall with adhesive strips.
Oh shit.
That's how thin it is.
Okay.
Lucky
Yeah.
for then, I'm still thinner.
Barely. So that was really cool. That caught a lot of attention. It's obviously going to be expensive, but this is the thing we've been looking for years. Like,
Hasn't-
when's it going to happen? A TV that will just fit right up against your wall with no bullshit. I mean, it still puts most of the processing technology in like a sound bar accessory
okay.
for it, but the panel itself just goes flat against the wall with no outhang from the wall or anything like that. It's as close to a flush, flat picture on your wall you can get with
That
a
makes sense.
projector.
CES, I saw Sony had this like tape or like film that they had that they could do the exact same thing with. They could cut it and like roll it up and
Yeah.
do whatever they needed to and put it on. So it's a similar type of concept that I saw
Yeah,
from Sony.
exactly.
But that was really expensive as well.
Yeah, this is something that's not going to roll out for consumer level for a few years, but
Yeah, I mean,
it
keep in
exists.
mind that a lot of what comes out in CES will probably never see the light of day. It's just like
Look what
developers
we can do.
showing what they're capable of, and
Yeah.
they'll eventually find practical application for some of these things. Like how you have curved glass on a lot of cell phones. That was all that all comes from these same technologies.
There's like a 13-pound laptop that was shown that is absolutely
oh yeah,
ridiculous.
it got stolen.
It did, yeah. It actually has 3 monitors. They flap out,
yes,
so you can
I've
do
seen
like
that.
a-
It's a Razer.
Yeah,
Razer
it was the
Razer.
Razer laptop that makes you more obnoxious to the people around you.
Yeah. Fun fact, the only people that this is marketed to are the people that you already don't like in the gaming world. See League of Legends.
Or the guy,
Sorry, guys.
the guy who's like 28 and comes in and has his grandma buy it for him.
Oh, that guy. Oh, man.
You know who you are.
If you're listening, stop. Tell your friends, but you're not allowed to listen anymore.
Unless the person you're buying all this shit from works on commission. They love you.
Yeah.
They love the
exactly.
shit out of you.
Yeah.
Everybody else hates you, though.
There was
You
nothing
probably
else
smell.
extraordinary that stood out that I saw.
I kind of stopped paying attention to CES when I was more like, none of this is real.
The problem was that
Nothing's real, Brian.
once I saw that LG TV, everything else was underwhelming by comparison.
Nihilism isn't real.
How can our eyes be real if our nihilism isn't real? Been a while since that joke's been made.
It's not entertaining anymore.
That's okay.
Boo!
Are you not
Boo
entertained?
earns! I've been watching episodes of The Simpsons. I'm up to season 7 now. I got my wife to finally watch the Who Shot Mr. Burns episodes.
Yeah.
And then I went back and watched the Who Shot Mr. Burns episodes again with commentary.
And then you went back and watched Dallas, and you were like, "This is good."
What are those episodes?
So it's the season finale of season 6 and the season premiere of season 7. And it's a 2-part episode. It's a whodunit that is loosely based off of Who Shot JR. from Dallas. And the second episode, they do a lot more stuff that is shadowing that, just like one-off jokes. In which it's right there in the episode. It's a whodunit of who shot Mr. Burns. He goes super crazy. I'm not going to reveal who did it because if you haven't seen the fucking episode yet, then
Came out
this
20
is
years ago.
Right. Calm down now, folks.
I've seen.
My wife, however,
seasons.
had never seen it, which a lot of people apparently haven't seen it because apparently we're getting old. Except for Thackeray, put your fucking hand down.
Yeah. No, he's getting old. He's watching things with the director's commentary on now.
Oh yes, I'm old.
It adds a
Me
whole
and
new
Brian-
dimension to it.
Brad and I had this conversation over spaghetti yesterday.
Yeah.
made
Pretty
my
soon
own
you're going to be
spaghetti.
using Bitmojis too.
No, no.
Yeah.
I actually
No.
would like to have.
Unconverted.
I would like to have less emojis in my life
Yes.
in general.
Just a little Bitmoji?
No,
No?
none.
Damn. Cold.
Unless
blooded.
stickers, you fucking asshole.
What? Hey, remember Endless Lake? Fuck you guys.
I don't know what that is.
Endless Lake, that stupid game on Facebook Messenger that we were all playing there for like 3 days. It made my life a living hell.
Didn't
That
play
was
it.
Ron's
Couldn't play
fault.
it.
Oh yeah, you never were. I don't know why that was. That makes no sense.
It's your phone's fault.
I don't think it's my phone.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well maybe it's my phone's fault.
Thank you.
I mean, at this point, it's basically your phone.
Nope. It's still your phone.
It's all of our phone.
I've still got your fucking S6 just chilling at my place.
I'm waiting for it to explode.
Hopefully, it burns the whole house down.
Who shot
Insurance.
Mr. Burns the whole house down? No.
So, yeah, we were talking earlier because the new MacBooks have had issues with their batteries having inconsistent battery life. And those batteries were obviously manufactured last year, the same year that the Samsung
Last
Note
year was
7 batteries were manufactured. I'm wondering if battery manufacturers are just like having a year
Slipping
where like they're trying to do too much too fast with their batteries. And
Drunk
they're-
at the wheel.
Yes, drunk at the wheel. Not even sleeping. Just fucking awake, just party gobbling out, you know.
Yep.
No.
No?
You don't get to. That's a bad.
You don't like Eliza?
That's a bad Brandon.
Eliza, what?
Eliza, you know, she makes the jokes about her party goblin whenever she drinks vodka. The party goblin awakes like, "Rrr," you know, and
Oh,
takes
yeah.
control of her actions. And
She's fine.
Yeah. No.
I didn't like her newest comedy special, unfortunately. Her others are great; they're fantastic. But I feel like every comic has that one special that just doesn't.
She
do it for
became
you.
a like a cliche of herself.
I don't mean this in a negative way. I really don't. She has too much of like a Dane Cook persona, where like she's very loud and very energetic, and I don't think that's bad. It's just not something that I'm into.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, I mean, when we're looking at 10, almost 15 years removed of when Dane Cook hit the scene, it kind of makes sense that right around now you're going to see comics who are kind of resembling him a little bit more.
Cyclical.
Yeah, I mean, people are influenced by people, and then that's just how it works.
Oh man, who did John Mulaney become the new version of?
Jerry Seinfeld.
If you watch
With
the
a-
show, you would
he's
know
a-
that that's not true.
Yeah, with a failed sitcom.
God, I feel like everywhere I go, I still run into Seinfeld references, and I'm like blown away by the fact that it's still so ingrained.
So
in
relevant?
Yeah, it's still ingrained in our culture.
Yeah.
After all these years.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
I mean, I don't know. Seinfeld. I was never a big Seinfeld guy myself,
No.
so I think that's more why it blows me away that it's still so relevant.
I appreciate Seinfeld. I mean, I appreciate almost every comic. When it comes down to it, it's not an easy job to do. And especially to reach that level.
One of my favorite stories is when they were filming Funny People, and half of the actors had never done stand-up, like Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill,
And they made them do
and
stand-up.
they made them do stand-up, and I believe it was Jonah Hill that said it was the most terrifying experience of his life.
They all
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah. And there's no worse feeling in the world than standing in front of a group of people performing and fucking up massively.
Yep.
Because you can feel everyone judging you, and you can feel them never wanting to see you perform again.
Yep.
It's a horrible feeling. It's not good.
I think what would be worse for them is that at that point they were fairly well known, like funny
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
So
And then-
everybody expected them to go up there and be funny, and then like
Then you have fucking Aziz bookending it, killing it like always.
Right.
The guy's just a machine.
Yeah, I mean, Aziz Ansari is
am I
really
bad
good.
for not thinking Aziz Ansari is funny?
Once
Because-
again, you don't have to like the style. I mean, because it is kind of loud and stuff like that.
That's kind of why I don't. He's very like, look at me, I'm funny, and I'm just like, oh, and he's like, I'm funny, and I'm like, oh god.
I've gotten to like his newer stuff because his newer stuff is delving more into like just his interest in the world around him.
Yeah. What I think is interesting
My
though
least
is
favorite
he's
character
a
on Parks and
really
Rec.
good stand-up comedian, but he's not really known for ad-libbing his lines ever
Jam?
on Parks and Rec or in movies or anything. Like Chris Pratt made a name for himself on that show just by ad-libbing.
Yeah.
Very Robin Williams like in just the shit that he would say. You know, I think we talked about it before, how the writers were very pissed off because the joke he ad-libbed while they were recording the show was funnier than anything they'd ever written before.
I don't know. I don't think that Joe or their writers should get upset by that. They still get the writers.
No,
credit.
I mean they weren't like genuinely mad about it, but they were just like, how the fuck? Like, we sit here and we do this all the time, and he just fucking came up with that, and it's better than anything we've ever done. Like, it's one of those things you're like, that guy's good, you know?
I'm pretty sure some comedy writers do get pretty like anal about that kind of stuff because
Well, yeah,
it's
there's
like,
always a prima
you
donna.
know,
but
I'm funny and like this is my work and like now I'm writing and now you're upstaging my work.
that's right.
now.
It's amazing that they didn't find any of those people to work on Big Bang because none of that shit's funny, and I think that they're probably just aware of it.
The Daily Show pretty famously is known for like its writer problems in the beginning of the Jon Stewart transition. Jon Stewart has been very open in saying that it really wasn't the show that he wanted it to be for like 2 years after he came in, just because of fights with writers and trying to get them on board with what he wanted to do.
I mean, I guess it's because he has to like record and like do other shit. But I was gonna say, why didn't he just write it at that point?
Because it's a lot of fucking work to write.
But I mean, that's kind of
Well, because at the time, or when you have to keep in mind, and a lot of people don't know this just because the show's been on since '98.
we'll say 99 is when he took over, correct?
Yeah, he took over in late '99.
Yeah.
It started out as like more of just a typical late night show, and it really took several years for it to become kind of the fake news show that it became. So trying to get the writers to move away from kind of the vapid bullshit of like, let's make fun of people who do dumb things around the country to becoming, let's make fun of the medium that we're trying to emulate.
Social commentary is interesting.
Exactly.
Because network news isn't very self-aware, it seems.
No.
And if seriously,
I
Major
feel like
News,
network news is a parody of network news at this point.
it doesn't realize it's a parody, though. That's the thing.
They keep saying that they're not.
Yeah. But in reality, I mean, you can look at any of the major news networks, and everything's so sensationalized. You can't turn on CNN without every single thing coming back from a commercial break saying, breaking news. It's not that fucking breaking. You said that shit 20 minutes ago and 30 minutes ago and an hour ago. Knock it off.
Somebody
Yeah,
in
I
that
mean,
newsroom is scrolling through Reddit.
It seems like the
Feels
joke
like it.
this year has become, or last year has become, breaking news, nothing has changed.
Yeah. Which is the reality of it, it seems.
Anchorman 2 actually took this,
Touched on that.
tackled this thing as head on as it
I
is.
never watched Anchorman 2 because I loved the first one so much I didn't want to take a chance on it.
It's a little bit. I mean, it's not going to be as funny, but there are some really good jokes in there. But it's more socially conscious in the fact that a lot of these things became it's a one-upsmanship between the news networks.
Right.
So they trace Ron Burgundy as the one who did it because obviously Ron Burgundy would be the one who did that. So
That makes sense.
it just one-upsman between it to the point where like you extrapolate that, and we have our 24-hour news cycle today where it's just literally saying ridiculous shit for the sake of ridiculous shit for views,
Filling
for
time.
ratings. Yeah. So it's utter garbage.
Yeah, I
Not
don't
all
watch
of it,
the news.
obviously. But
No, most of it.
Yeah, a large portion.
Let's
of it.
not kid ourselves.
Anchorman is so universally applicable in pop culture that during the football season, myself as a Raiders fan, I still get to see Anchorman references because a lot of Raiders fans will refer to San Diego simply as Whale's vagina. So you'll be like going through like Reddit, looking at the NFL subreddit or the Raiders subreddit, and somebody will reference the Chargers, but they'll just say, "Yeah, the whale's vagina is collapsing," which is even funnier in that context. That's one of that movie's greatest gifts to society.
I love Scotch. Scotch is...
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many. That's one of the most quotable movies of all time. That's what a movie doesn't have to have a plot at all. If it's just quotable, that's all you need. Just make people talk about it. That's really all you're looking for.
Yeah,
Are people going to promote your movie?
yeah.
It's simple as that. Word of mouth is powerful. Speaking of word of mouth, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to tell everybody about our podcast on the Towers Underground Network.
Like and subscribe on iTunes. Feel free to leave a comment.
Find us on Google Play. We're there as well.
Stitcher, I think.
Yeah, we're on Stitcher too. Good
I
job.
think you guys looked at me for that
Thank you,
plug.
Thacker.
Yeah.
I was like zoning out, doing a Thackeray / JD at the tools, and I was like, I think Stitcher's the one they haven't.
Yeah, that was it. Good job. Hooray, syndication.
Something.
A Perfect Circle is about to go on tour, which is not what they're supposed to be doing. Maynard is supposed to be making a Tool album.
Yeah.
That's not going to fucking
So
happen.
he's being Maynard.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I was doing this thing, but I'm just going to not do that.
he
I'm
has
gonna do something
massively
else.
successful ADD.
Yeah.
Like, he'll just be like, I want to do this now. And then do it. And then be awesome. And then be like, I think I should. No. We're going to
Everyone's
do
like,
this.
put out a new Tool album, and he's like, I'm going to make a vineyard.
Oh, man.
The man is crazy.
Yeah. And of course, Nine Inch Nails released their new EP
I liked
a
it.
couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was
Have you
really
listened
good.
to it yet?
Yeah, I've listened to it.
Is it still the only way to find it on their website?
Nope,
Or is it?
it's on iTunes now.
Yeah. It's on all the major...
They
Just took a while.
They just rolled it out on their website only.
Yeah.
I guess more as a forced loyalty thing for true fans that really wanted it, so they could pay $20 for something that only costs you like $6 on iTunes.
Yeah, because it's only 5 tracks.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But it's really good, and they're also going to be doing some live performances behind it as well.
It's exciting.
Not like a massive tour, but they are doing Bonnaroo, I believe.
It was a real return
wait.
for him, I
Was it
thought.
Bonnaroo? I think it was them or a Perfect Circle or both. I don't fucking remember. I woke up, I was half awake, I got a link to win tickets for Bonnaroo, and I was like, oh, Bonnaroo, I got to do this.
I woke up and I was half awake.
Yeah.
Brandon White, 2017.
Some say he's half awake to this very day. He said narrating his own life.
Man, I bought Bioshock, the complete collection, for $25 because Best Buy certificates.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. I've yet to play it because I got trapped with Futurama, but
That's understandable. That's often my problem.
So I'm gonna play that more recently. Have you guys? Not more recently. I'm going to play it. Have you guys ever? I don't know if
I
are
played
not-
Bioshock 1, I did not play 2 or Infinite.
Okay, I was like,
I've started one,
uh-huh.
and I watched a walkthrough of Infinite.
Okay.
They're both fantastic. I think that they're absolutely beautiful games.
Yeah, I think that the story and the overall.
I was very happy that I did not have to get the HD remaster because Steam upgraded my copy to the HD remaster.
That's kind of cool.
That's how you build brand loyalty.
Yeah.
Pay us, Steam, or we'll pay you for advertising.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's all good.
After we run out of Bing dollars, we'll give you real dollars.
Tricky Dick Fun Bucks.
How many can I get for this 100 Bing dollars?
Like, well, you can get 3 advertisements and 6 drugs.
Or 1 PlayStation Vita. To this day, we still don't know what a PlayStation Vita costs.
Probably at least 3 Rick Rosses.
Roughly $8.
Half a Kanye West.
Man. At least it holds no less than 3/5 of its value.
Did you guys ever know that George Bush hates black people?
Oh, man.
Did I ever know? Or
That's
did I
a
ever
timely
hear?
reference.
It's not that he hates them, he just doesn't care about them.
Oh shit, I fucked up my timely reference.
You could see on Michael Myers' face that he'd never thought of it that way. Chris Tucker himself was like, oh, man. Yeah, he doesn't.
This isn't good at all.
That was great. That is forever going to be one of the greatest moments in television history, and we all saw Janet Jackson's nipple.
I was about to reference Janet Jackson's nipple.
Specifically?
Yeah.
Oh. Do it.
No, that's it.
No.
That's the reference.
Aw.
It's exactly what I picture Michael Jackson's nipple if he had boobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darker though. Or do you like to picture Michael Jackson as like being very, very pale on all the parts that you can see, but really dark skinned on like any
Michael
part
Jackson's the only man in the world where I'd wonder if his dick does that thing where his dick skin is darker than the rest of the skin on his body.
Two-tone Malone.
Like, I almost have to assume that Michael Jackson's dick is just as pale as his face and the underside of his arm.
Man, Lil' Kim's doing a Michael Jackson.
Is she?
Yes, she is.
Sammy Sosa did too.
Yeah, they're not looking... No, I mean, he's... Well, you know what?
Yes.
I'm not going to make any assumptions about why they're getting paler.
Sammy Sosa's racist.
I'm just gonna.
Allegedly.
Oh man, that's factually accurate now because you said allegedly. You can say shit like that as long as you say allegedly. Like for instance, Aaron Hernandez killed a man. Allegedly. He also killed a couple other people. Allegedly.
I killed a pussy.
Allegedly. It's a big allegedly. You should open a Chinese restaurant.
Bull in a China shop.
Close enough.
Smacking all the walls. Vagina walls.
What else is good? Al Qaeda did 9/11. Allegedly.
No, I think that was confirmed. You don't have to say allegedly after that one.
Are you sure that's confirmed?
I'm
Saddam
pretty
Hussein
sure that
has
they
weapons of
confirmed
mass
it.
destruction.
That one's definitely allegedly.
We could do this all day.
This is the rest of the episode.
We just fade the episode out on 15 minutes of us just saying like heinous crimes and then following up with allegedly.
Hitler was good for World War II Germany?
That's mostly
Allegedly.
fact. I'm not going to say that's alleged. He had great social policies for like 80% of their population.
I said this because Brandon could go on for this for about 15 minutes.
It goes real bad for the other 20%, though. I mean, his idea was that it eventually would be really great social programs for 100% of the population.
Adolf Hitler was
But, like, it's going
basically
the-
Austrian FDR, so...
It's like going the cheat way to ignore to that other 20%.
Fun fact, FDR also killed millions of people.
With
Well,
polio?
not directly, but also Hitler didn't directly kill millions of people either. So.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like he was just sitting there like, bang.
They were both sitting in chairs giving orders. One of them just had wheels.
One of them was just able to stand up from that chair.
Yeah, well, that big...
Allegedly.
Confirmed.
Jesus Christ.
Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right, we got
Gone way too long.
Rule of threes, you guys.
Um,
We passed 3 a long time ago. Now we're just crossing the law of diminishing returns. No one's laughing anymore.
Jumping the shark,
Yeah,
essentially?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
This
Or
joke.
what I call, no, honey, that joke isn't funny anymore.
you know, every time somebody references jumping the shark, it really makes me sit there and think, what the fuck were they thinking when they had him jump the shark? And
I love that he
gives you
was
perspective.
wearing
the jacket.
the
He's wearing the
jacket
leather
the whole
jacket,
time.
too. I mean,
swim trunks, leather jackets.
I feel like when people use the
White
phrase
undershirt.
"jump the shark," I don't think they think of the true context. Like when you really watch that, it's so absurd. Like nothing has ever jumped the shark like Happy Days jumped the shark.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did create the trope.
I know, but I'm saying that anytime that reference is used, it just never holds up to the
No, it
original.
doesn't. Except maybe the nuking the fridge.
Come on, happy days.
Gosh, 70s television programming was delightful.
Yeah.
Johnny Loves Chachi was just delightful.
Happy days. Oh, happy days. Man.
I think that Thackeray and myself both have something that that needs to be mentioned that pains us physically to say.
Don't talk about us touching each other's wieners.
I mean,
I just did it. Shit. I don't know what you're referencing.
we talked about it a little bit yesterday.
What?
Off mic, obviously. The Blade Runner trailer. Yeah, as I said, it physically pains us, but it looks pretty good.
Interesting, at least.
Yeah.
It caught my attention. I'm not going to say it looks good.
It doesn't look like a steaming pile of shit, I think is what we're really trying to say.
Even though we kind of hope it would be. I still hope it would be a steaming pile of shit, because it'd be easier just to count the movie as a steaming pile of shit instead of something that might be okay.
Yeah.
Like that extra Indiana Jones DVD you happen to have in your 3-part collection.
I'm pretty sure it's a blank disc.
I tried to put it into your Blu-ray player, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah, that was weird.
I
Like,
mean,
I could hear it spinning.
nothing. Weird.
It just...
It's
just
got
did
art
nothing.
on it too. Like they obviously meant
Yeah,
to do
like
something.
I'm wondering what movie they were trying to make with this disc.
We gotta check and see if there's like all of them are like that because it's really weird.
No, I've watched the other three.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yeah, the other
that's-
three are great.
That's good. I just didn't know if that collection.
There are 3 fantastic Indiana Jones movies and 1 blank disc, as far as I can tell.
It's weird.
Yeah,
I never
Brandon
saw
doesn't
it.
get this joke at all.
I never saw it. I know people actually watched that movie. I fucking won't.
I don't know what movie you're talking about.
That one with that blank disc. Maybe that's why I never saw it, because it didn't play.
Yeah,
It must have been the most awkward hour and a half in the theater ever.
I
Just all you could hear is people jacking off in the back of the theater.
Pee-wee.
I thought he was in the middle of the theater.
By the way, I watched Pee-wee's Big Holiday, the Netflix one, recently. It's not terrible. It's fucking weird because it's like
Pee-wee Herman.
this one is clearly geared for adults.
Okay.
So like, it's super surreal, and the whole plot is like Pee Wee Herman is trying to get to Joe Manganiello's birthday party, and I'm not saying the character that Joe Manganiello plays. I'm saying the literal Joe Manganiello.
I mean,
Is it more crazy than him trying to find his bicycle?
Oh yeah,
Because that one's a pretty ridiculous plot. Large Marge. Large Marge scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
no. This one has frequent cuts of like Pee Wee Herman upset that he's not going to make it to Joe Manganiello's birthday party, and then cut to Joe Manganiello at his birthday party, feeling sad that Pee Wee's not there. It's fucking weird. Joe Manganiello is fantastic in it. He is a hilarious person.
He was in a Magic Mike too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was also in the first Magic Mike.
He's been linked to Deathstroke. I think? No.
No, he's confirmed. He's playing Deathstroke
his
in
dance move in Magic Mike?
in the Ben
yeah,
Affleck.
the Deathstroke.
The Deathstroke?
Ooh.
High velocity.
Yes.
Oh, I wish I would have thought of that joke.
Great
for my
taste,
penis.
half the filling.
But yeah, I think he's gonna be a good Deathstroke.
Yeah, I like him.
He has the look.
He's good in I can't think of anything that he's been in that I've been like, this is terrible.
True Blood.
I didn't watch it.
Good.
Nor did I.
Like I watched, it was on and I was in the room, but I did not actively watch it.
I did not watch it.
I think that's how rapes are described.
This is how a lot of things that play in my house are described.
Ghost in the Shell was almost like that.
No, I was trying to pay attention to it, but like sometimes I would look up something on IMDb.
I would look over half the time and be like, Brian's on his iPad. I wonder what he's doing. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to continue enjoying
Ghost
this
in the
film.
Shell was on. As I said, I mean, it's not an easy plot to figure out what the fuck is happening. I caught the ending and I was like, I don't know what the fuck just happened.
She went to go open the tank hatch, and her arms started like gyrating and like blowing off, and you were like, "That's not good."
Historically speaking,
You're like,
it's never ended well for a person.
Like, this cannot be good. And then Batu was just like pulled out the gun and started shooting, and she was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "It's my big gun." And you were like, "Ah!" And I was like, "Brian's watching now." I could hear Brian like laughing at that stupid shit he said.
That's
So.
the best time to become engaged, right there. You have no context for anything that's fucking happening, and that's your reintroduction to the movie. That's fantastic. That makes me so happy.
I love dumb things in movies so much.
I do too.
Also, you were pretty. You thought you liked it that he covered her up.
Yeah,
He put his
he puts his coat over her, like she's fully naked, and like only half of her at this point. Like the rest of her is blown the fuck off, apparently.
Man.
yeah, she doesn't have like a waist.
But like
or
he
arms or
still
anything like
believes in like chivalry and modesty.
that. So he puts his
But,
coat
like,
He
over his
jerks off on her like Shinji from Evangelion.
But like only one,
No.
because there's 2 naked female androids. Only one jacket though.
puts it on the major, not the puppet master.
Yeah.
Which, fuck that guy or girl or
Sentient computer
yeah,
program?
like it really doesn't really explain it all that well.
No.
You have to watch it a couple times. It's one of those things
Yeah,
where
I'm
like,
gonna have to watch it again.
Ghost in the Shell is something that I can only explain after watching it. the same way I can only explain the plot of Metal Gear Solid as a franchise when I've played them all the way through. 15 minutes after playing them, it escapes my mind because it's that convoluted. I'm like, what?
This is gibberish.
Patriots? What?
You mean Lolly Lule Lo?
Metal Gear? Fires nukes? What? So much piss everywhere.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to edit this episode where you said the Patriots, and I'm going to just edit in Lolly Lule Lo.
Lolly Lule Lo.
You just got to do it. It'll be the only actual, like, editing done in post on this show ever.
That'd actually be pretty funny. Especially if it's a bad edit.
Well, it's not funny now because I've told you I'm going to do it. If I hadn't said
Yo,
anything,
edit
just
all that
done it.
out.
Yeah, so if anybody ever wonders why our edits are shitty, it's because they're done live.
Yeah. We have a strict no editing policy unless something just absolutely shouldn't be on the episode. For those of you that didn't catch this explanation way early on, so if we do an edit in the middle, it's just to flat out cut out something that's either going to A, end a relationship, B, get somebody put in jail, or C, makes the audio quality so poor that we're just ashamed of it.
Usually C.
Yeah.
They chose not to edit out a lot of stuff I've said because they're assholes.
Hey, I don't edit anything I say out, usually.
I don't say anything that shouldn't be said.
I mean, I obviously
I mean,
don't
that's
either.
not true, obviously.
Brandon liked to start the episode when we were doing this early by starting it as I was mid-sentence. and that led to some awkward conversations that have been recorded.
There would always be like a name drop or something in there, and just enough context to know that he was talking about things that could potentially involve his penis.
Almost always. There's not a conversation that doesn't happen that doesn't involve my
Nothing?
penis. I'd appreciate if you would tell me before you circumcise me next time, Brian.
I'm sorry. I had to defuse that bomb.
You also have to shoot the hostage. In case you were wondering. Always shoot the hostage.
What? Then you have no leverage.
No.
No, you shoot
they
the
have
hostage.
no leverage. Shoot the hostage. That's their thing. They've got a hostage. You don't have
Oh.
shit. If you shoot the hostage, neither of you has a hostage.
He's defusing the bomb because he's not a bad guy. He shoots the hostage, and now the bad guy has nothing to bargain with.
And then he's going to get his head knocked off in about 30 minutes after the movie ends and then starts again for some odd reason. I don't know if anybody else was thrown, for a loop about that when they watched Speed as a kid, but I certainly was.
Fuck, that movie was good.
Got off the bus. There's this dramatic scene at the airport. Everything's good. The movie's over, and they're like, "Nope, got to go to the subway station now."
Never seen
It's like,
Speed.
where the fuck? This is like a
Oh,
bonus
man.
level in
We
an
gotta
NES
watch
game.
Speed.
You've never seen Speed? That's incredible.
Jeff Daniels.
That was
Poor
the movie.
Jeff Daniels.
That's the movie that definitely 100% put Sandra Bullock on the map.
And Keanu Reeves.
And Keanu Reeves. Yeah, that was like
That
his,
movie solidified Keanu Reeves as an action star.
Yeah, that was his first major action role, really. Unless you
After Bill and Ted.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say if you count Bill and Ted
Before
as an
Matrix.
action movie, then
Oh, way before Matrix.
yeah, we're
So
talking
what
like
was this, 94?
3
93?
years before Matrix, 4 years possibly.
Matrix is 99, so
Yes.
God, it was 5 years before the Matrix. Holy shit!
yeah.
Yeah, it was well before Matrix.
So was the Matrix Keanu jumping a shark, or was that his pinnacle of like
I think
big stardom?
I think the Lake House was him jumping the shark.
I would say Matrix 3.
Yeah, probably. Movie that if you watch them all together, they still don't make any fucking sense.
I think the last two are blank discs. Because the first one's the only one that actually makes any sort of sense.
Speed
After
was
that,
94.
it doesn't really. You can't explain what happens in the Matrix because it gets ridiculous. I really think that I don't know what happened. Does anybody know exactly why the plot doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, and I can explain it through a completely different or a completely unrelated tale.
I'm excited.
George Lucas said that he had the idea for 9 movies planned out from the very beginning.
That's not. No.
But come his 4th movie, i.e. Episode 1, it clearly revealed that he didn't know shit about the story that he was trying to tell.
Metachlorians.
And that's how we got The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions.
Yeah. I think it's the Wachowskis didn't have anything to pirate or copy anymore.
I mean, there was all of Greek and Judeo-Christian mythology that they could copy.
I mean,
Yeah, but they did a really bad job of that and did a really good job of copying anime.
Disney's been doing that shit for decades.
What?
Like stealing stories either from old fairy tales or from anime.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's where all their big stories have come from. There's really not
The
a
Lion King is Hamlet meets Kimba the White Lion.
Yep. There's not a single story that they've ever made, nor of any of their big movies that isn't based off of some prior lore or mythology.
Long live the king.
Yep.
Except for Jingle All the Way, which is...
Dasha dansa pratsa vixen.
Night, everybody.
Donna vixen.